ever feel like you could just let go of everything and float.
Mm-hmm.
That, my friend, is what we're diving into today. Letting go.
Okay.
To find, a little more freedom in our lives.
Yeah, I like it.
And we've got a couple of things to guide us, a short briefing doc and this really interesting YouTube video, both talking about letting go and using this cool, feather metaphor. You familiar with that imagery at all?
Oh, yeah. It's a powerful one, right?
Yeah.
The feather, across cultures, it's almost always about this weightless freedom,
Yeah, absolutely.
which I think we all crave on some level.
Absolutely.
So it's really interesting to dive into this through those two very different lenses, the briefing doc and the video,
Yeah. Yeah, and they both use that feather imagery.
They do.
It's striking. So right off the bat, both of these sources, they talk about the feather as this representation of effortless freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they contrast that with this idea of us carrying around these heavy stones, like burdens and anxieties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting because, birds, feathers, they've been associated with freedom for centuries in so many cultures, right?
Oh, absolutely.
There's something inherently freeing about them. And I think that's why this metaphor is so effective.
Yeah.
Because we see a bird in flight and there's a part of us that wants that, right?
It's just, it makes you think when was the last time I felt that light,
Totally.
that unburdened, just riding the wind. What comes to mind for you when you think about that feeling? What image?
For me, it's always been being underwater.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, scuba diving specifically. You're weightless, but you're also so present.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah. But, the thing is, it's not always easy to tap into that feeling, right?
Right. And that's where the stones come in. Both sources, they talk about these heavy stones, and the briefing doc specifically calls out things like, worries about the future, mistakes we've made, these anxieties, these what ifs. It's like they're literally weighing us down, preventing us from that floating feeling.
Yeah. And, what gets me is how often we convince ourselves that we have to carry these stones.
Oh, yeah. It's our duty.
Exactly. The YouTube video really drives this point home.
Yeah.
Are these burdens even ours to bear?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because we pick up so much from others, from society, our families, we internalize these burdens without even realizing it.
It's like invisible baggage.
Totally. We mistake them as part of ourselves when they're really just holding us back.
Yeah. But, okay, so we've got these stones, right? We all have them. What do we do about it?
Well, that's the cool part. Both the briefing doc and that YouTube video, they offer some pretty practical advice.
They do.
And, they both kind of land on visualization.
They do, yeah.
Which can sound a little hokey, but it's more than just wishful thinking.
No, absolutely not.
It's about actively choosing to release these burdens.
Yeah, it's about action, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like in the video, he talks about writing down your worries on a leaf and picturing the wind sweeping it away.
I love that. That's such a tangible, visceral image.
It is, right. And it's that act of letting go, of surrendering the weight to something bigger than ourselves. That's where things shift.
So it's not about pretending the burdens don't exist.
No.
It's about acknowledging them, maybe even giving them a shape, a name, and then consciously choosing to let them go.
Yeah, exactly. And what's amazing is what happens when we do that, right?
What happened?
Both sources talk about this, that underneath all those burdens, that's where we find our true selves.
Our own personal feather.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Letting go, it allows that natural state of peace and lightness to just emerge.
Because it was always there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a powerful message, that it's not about achieving this perfect state of lightness.
Right.
It's about removing the things that are blocking it, obscuring it.
It's like the feather isn't trying to be light.
Right. It just is.
It just is.
Maybe we don't have to try so hard either.
Exactly. Maybe freedom, true freedom, it's about surrendering to what already is.
So it's not about suppression or denial. It's not about pretending everything's fine. It's about releasing what's no longer serving us, what's weighing us down, to make room for who we really are.
Beautifully said. And as you go about your day, consider this. If you were to give your burdens a shape, a weight, what would they look like?
Oh, I like that.
And how would it feel to just watch the wind sweep them away, revealing that lightness that was always within you?
Leave them wanting more, right?
Always.
Until next time.